Food Court, the movie podcast and Twitch stream where Sean
And Michael.
and nobody else watch shit, talk shit, and most importantly, eat shit. But really, we don't really eat shit
Never.
anymore. But we used to eat shit.
Uh-huh.
But the format has changed because of a little known virus. A virus that, I don't know, people are just pretending isn't real. But that doesn't mean it's not real. It keeps being real.
Yes.
But we just keep dying more.
Yeah.
Spooky, isn't it?
The oddest
Isn't
thing.
it spooky?
Well, yeah, it sounds like a horror movie, like a country was just going about its business, and then one day a virus, but everyone pretended it was gone, and then it was back. We are not even seconds into the show. It hasn't even been a single second since we started. And the Josh from TN has said,
I know him.
Y'all spooky AF, which I think means as Frankenstein. Spooky as Frankenstein.
I thought it meant areola fuckhead. Is that what it means? Man, if you're listening right now or watching us, would you type in the comments and tell us what AF means? Yeah. And if you're not watching us live on Twitch,
go fuck yourself. No,
no, don't go fuck yourself. Thank you so much for listening on the podcast version, and head over to Twitter and tweet. Wait, take two. I'm not going to edit it, but take two. Tweet at Food Court Cast and say AF means ... and
like
fill
this.
in the blank.
Yes,
also,
please.
While I'm talking about that, I usually mention this at the end of the show, but we're talking about two movies, so it's probably a long ass show. So I will mention it at the beginning of the show. If you're on iTunes or whatever your favorite podcast streaming service is, would you give us a review? We love reviews,
please.
And it helps us so much. I don't know what it does, but I hear other podcasts talking about how much it helps.
Yeah.
And I assume, and it's like NPR people, so they must have like some deep down knowledge that we don't have.
Definitely.
Michael?
Yeah? Yes?
Welcome, my friend.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, hi, how's it going?
Good, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. It's not Halloween now, but as you listen to it, it may be. It may even be after Halloween.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's like after Election Day and you're like either smiling or crying, or maybe both.
Maybe you're dead.
Maybe you're crying tears of joy. Maybe you are dead, and this is playing into your dead ears.
Yeah, please make sure you are buried with this podcast playing in your dead ears.
It's highly possible that you are in the process of dying.
Yeah.
And this is the last thing you're hearing, and you're like, I really blew it. I should have picked something with people who have more pleasant voices to listen to. Some Enya or something, just really soothing and not just kind of. And when we watched the Halloween movie, which is what we sound like.
Yeah,
have we mentioned yet that we watched Halloween 1 and 2?
Oh,
Michael?
no.
Okay, go on.
Well, I was gonna say it is sad because when John's here, at least we have kind of like this like gross like, but with us it's just shrill and just grating.
Yes.
Awful.
Grating and degrading.
We degrade. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we degrade.
Anyways, we did watch Halloween 1 and 2.
Did we?
We did. Well, I did. I don't know.
I did as well, and we have to talk about them.
Okay.
Let's rank them. Halloween 1 and 2. Which is better? Do you think Halloween 1 or 2 is better?
I don't know. This is hard.
Are we
talking in terms of music, storytelling, filming?
Just the whole thing.
Yeah.
The combination of all the parts of the movie that make up the movie.
Wow.
Sound effects.
Yeah, sound
acting, weapons.
Weapons. There were weapons. There were weapons.
I'm gonna say, and I'm going out on a limb here, Halloween 1. That's my pick is Halloween 1 for a better movie.
Halloween 1.
Yeah, you think Halloween 1 is 1?
I think Halloween 1 won this battle. I think that Halloween 2 is just not as good as Halloween 1.
Okay, well, that's that. Thanks for listening to it. No, we have more to talk about. The first movie we watched was Halloween. It's not called Halloween 1. It's just called Halloween. It would be weird. Wouldn't it be great? Has there ever been a movie that is just the one? Like it is the name of the movie One. Like Alien 1.
I wish. The closest I can think is It, like It Chapter 1.
Oh yeah.
More like shouldn't even have been a chapter, right?
More like Shit Chapter 1.
Yeah,
boom,
shit.
Got him. Okay, so we watched Halloween. Just Halloween.
Just Halloween.
I'm probably going to say 1 again, but it's just Halloween. I don't need to say 1.
Please don't.
It's the first one. You know what? Because I'm so kind, I would like you, Michael, to do the plot of Halloween.
Me?
I'm guessing almost everyone watching or listening has seen it and knows exactly what happens and probably seen it many times. But just a swift plot will help us get an idea of what's going on in this crazy film.
Well, before I do the plot, I will say that Fast Break Breakfast said we were all supposed to watch Halloween H2O, right? And that is incorrect. That is not the right Halloween, and you're going to probably want to just turn this off because we're not going to be talking about that or even mentioning it once.
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned it once, but we're not going to mention Halloween H2O. Well, I guess it is twice now.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get out of this because we're stuck in a loop. That's the last time we mention it.
I'm stuck.
That movie.
I don't even know how to go on with this podcast.
People tune in 10 minutes, and there's just our feet where we've both hanged ourselves.
Yeah, that would be great.
And they're like, "What the fuck is this? This is the craziest stream I've ever seen."
This is weird, and it's like our most popular stream.
People are sharing it.
Like, yeah, this is awesome.
Sending us money. We don't know why. We just like it. Their toes are nice. We just get only foot fetishists.
Only foot fetishists.
And they find out that we've hanged ourselves, and they're like, okay, I still like it.
Yeah, I'm still down with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, it could be a new thing. If this doesn't take off, we'll keep it in our heads.
Yeah.
But, okay, I'm going to do the plot now, and I'm going
to
try to...
Halloween.
Well, I'm notorious at being really long-winded on these, so I'm going to try to sum it up in 3 words. No, I couldn't do it. Okay, so it starts. The movie starts, and it's Haddonfield, Illinois? Indiana?
Yes.
Where is it?
Yep.
Illinois.
Both of them.
Haddonfield. And it's back in the day. It's not the current back in the day, but even further back.
63, I think.
63, we think. And there's a house, some kind of house. Okay,
yes.
Whatever. It's like POV. Ooh, spooky.
Yeah.
And there's like hot kids hanging out.
Let's say teens.
Teens, yeah, that sounded weird.
18. These are 18 and up.
Yeah, I hope.
Actually, I think probably within the realm of the movie, they are in high school, so they're likely not 18. But let's say for our own good feelings, these are 30-year-olds.
30-year-olds. 30-year-olds. Hot 30-year-olds.
Yep.
But when I say hot, I mean they're getting hot. They're about to F the shit out of each other. Literally.
Yes.
And so someone's watching them. Uh-oh, spicy. Ooh. And then they go in the house. They grab a huge knife, like the biggest knife I've ever seen in my life still. And the boyfriend leaves. Uh-oh. And the eyes go up the stairs. And they see a mask. They put it on. And then it takes on the eyes of whatever, you get it. Yeah. It's POV. And then the sister's like brushing her hair naked.
Yeah, that's
as
what I do.
Yeah. Just get completely naked and brush her hair. Mm-hmm. And she's like, Michael! And then he stabs her to death, his own sister. It's crazy. I was like,
we find out.
I cut the movie off. I didn't watch any more.
That's good enough. That's a good part.
No, then he goes outside and the parents are like, oh shit. And then it zooms away, and then it's nighttime later. 70s now. And there's a doctor and a nurse lady, and they're like driving through the rain. It's real spooky, like. And he's like, this guy's evil. And she's like, yeah, right. smoking something like that.
Yeah.
And then there's a bunch of mental patient. Oh, I probably shouldn't call them that. Whatever.
There were mental patients in those days.
In those days, the mental patients, and they're all wandering around in the dark. It's pretty creepy. It's like
now the politically correct term now is wackadoo.
yeah,
It's a bunch of wackadoos.
wackadoos.
I like that this is your short version.
Yeah, I know. I can't do these. I suck at these. Okay, skip ahead. There's some girls.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Michael Myers escapes.
Yes.
That's pretty
important.
big.
Yeah.
And what does the guy say? He goes, "The evil is gone. It's gone."
Dr. Loomis is the name of the fella.
Dr. Loomis.
Played by Donald Pleasance.
Ooh, and he is not Pleasance in this at all.
Change your name to Donald Unpleasance.
Unpleasance. And then so we meet Laurie Strode, played by the amazing Jamie Lee Curtis, whose name I forgot for a couple seconds. I was like,
her?
oh shit, what's her name? She's great in it.
Yep.
I'm so bad at this. She's got really awful friends who don't care about her, and they make fun of her. They put her down the whole fucking movie, and I'm glad they're dead. Anyway.
Wow. That's what friends are like. Are friends not kind of shitting on each other?
If they're not, if a friend shits on you too much, though, you're like, I hope you get killed.
You're right. You're so right.
But then some stuff happens. They get followed around by a creepy guy, and you're like, uh-oh, what's going on here? Lots of spooky stuff happening, and
Yep.
Then it's nighttime, and Laurie is babysitting an annoying child. Very annoying, and they're watching The Thing. That's a nice little throwback to a movie he makes later on, remakes.
Throwback to the future.
Throw forward, yeah.
Throw forward.
And then her friend's across the street with another kid, and it's like babysitters. There's lots of babysitter vibes in this movie. Whoa, I almost just completely burped, but I saved myself. I almost choked on a burp. Speaking of getting choked, her friend gets choked to death. Oh, shit. But because she's trying to go hang out with Paul or whatever, I don't know. There's so many random names in this movie. Whatever. She's trying to get jiggy with it, and then she gets choked to death. But whatever. There's too many parts to this movie.
I mean...
Whatever.
Really, to sum it up, what happens is this man named Michael Myers, wearing a terrifying mask.
Yes.
A white, emotionless mask. Terrorizes three young ladies, and kills many of them.
Yeah.
And eventually gets killed himself, or does he? That's basically it, right?
Yeah, that's a way better way to do it.
I mean, if you've seen it, you know.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you should stop listening.
Cut this
because we're going to spoil it
a lot of it.
Unless you just like to hear people talk about movies that you haven't seen, which is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
We support you, but it does seem strange.
Yeah, why would you do this to yourself?
Yes.
I don't get it. I will say that Fast Break Breakfast said Rob Zombie's Halloween remake, yes or yes. I saw the first one.
I saw part of it and then I went, I don't need to see this.
Yeah.
The moment it was like, you know what, the emotionless killer with a blank behind his eyes.
Yeah.
You know what he needs? Just a trashy redneck backstory. That's what he needs. He needs to live in a trailer. Oh, wouldn't that be great to know that he was a redneck? Because then when he kills people, we'll think yeehaw or some shit. Rob Zombie. Just write your beautiful songs like Dragula.
That's it.
And that's it. That's all we want from you.
Oh, just stop.
Let's talk about regular ass Halloween.
Yeah,
please.
let's get back. Enough of this.
Okay. I've got many euros for this picture.
Oh, shit.
Now, we'll say, first of all, I want to say, I tried to watch this movie with fresh eyes, which is difficult. Because I've seen it many times.
Yeah.
And it's hard to just watch it like, okay, what would I be experiencing if I had never seen this before? It's very difficult to do, to turn off all of like my preconceived notions of the movie. But
almost impossible.
It was a fun exercise to just kind of try to turn my brain off a little bit and just kind of get into it and enjoy it. And I quite enjoyed it.
Oh, wow.
But I have to tell you, Michael.
Yeah?
I have to tell you my Euro. Let's get into the Euros.
Please.
Let's get into the low mains. Let's talk about all the things we like and dislike about this movie.
Okay.
My beef lamb Euro of this picture, Halloween 1978, is there's lots of good stuff. And with a movie I've seen so many times, it's kind of a deep cut.
Yeah.
Dr. Loomis. Poor Dr. Loomis spends a lot of time just waiting by a house.
Yeah.
That is his lot for most of the picture.
Yeah.
He is eventually sort of a deus ex machina where he comes and saves Laurie, but
yeah.
for the longest time, he just has to sit by a house because he doesn't have any other clues. I mean, he's just in a town and he knows Michael is in this town. And he's like, well, this is where he used to live. He's already been here.
It's pretty realistic. If he would be like, I don't know where this guy is.
Yeah, let's hope somebody screams down the street so that I can go help them. Because otherwise, I'm just waiting around hoping I see him. And so he's waiting. And there's some kids sitting outside the old Myers house, the rundown 1978 version of the old Myers house.
No.
And they're goading each other because this is the house where there was a murder.
Yeah.
So they're goading each other, and they're like, go ring the doorbell. You gotta go get on the porch. Why? Yeah, I'm a kid. And Loomis it seems almost uncharacteristic, but I love it anyway. He's like, hey, Lonnie, get your ass away from there. Yeah. And he has like the weirdest kind of devilish smile where just the tiniest corners of his mouth turn up, and he has kind of a Mona Lisa smile. And then what really seals the deal for me in that moment is that the sheriff, who has been his kind of buddy, like, accidentally sneaks up on him and scares him. So it's like this moment where he's scared little kids and he's kind of enjoying it, and then he himself gets scared with like a good little one-upmanship. Yeah, he's like, whoa, boo, and it's good, good shit.
It's
Michael.
It's beautiful.
Michael.
Yeah.
Will you tell me your Euro of this picture, please?
Okay, my Euro. I mean, it's like you said, it's hard when you've seen something a lot and you're like, I don't know. There's lots of good stuff. Let me.
Do you not like it anymore, Mike?
Yeah, it was awful. No, I thought it was good. There are parts of it, and we'll get to it. But I like. Okay. Oh, this is tough. I think my favorite part. Is earlier on when it's like when they're going to the mental asylum, and Dr. Loomis gets out, and then Michael Myers like jumps over the car, and that scare always gets me, and it just looks so visually cool. And I'm like, shoot!
It's a really good.
It's good. It's great.
Yes. That's a very good. Also, while we're saying nice things, I'll talk a little bit about more about that part. As they first arrive outside the asylum. And this may be budgetary, but it just turns out well. They're just like, basically it's like two shots of Loomis and the nurse in the car, some side shots of them in the car, and a shot out the front with just headlights. And so, you see like signs, you see fences and stuff. And then eventually like they turn around a corner and you see like just the faintest picture of people just standing out in the rain in their like smocks. They're I don't know what those are even called.
Mental
what is that
clothes.
Called? Like hospital gowns.
Yeah.
Just out, and it's raining, and you don't really see their heads. You just kind of see their body. It's creepy. I like that a lot. How creepy that is.
That part that one always is just like, ooh, like it. It's such a freaky visual. It's really nice, and I love the lighting. Like it's like green, this weird bizarre green coming from the radio or something. It's really nice. It maybe doesn't make sense, but it works in a horror movie. You're like, ooh,
maybe spooky. Maybe it's just some kind of old timer radio where it's got big ass green. I don't know. Let's say
perhaps
that for the sake of our sweet Carpenter that he meant to do it, and it's great.
I'm
guessing he meant it.
He meant it.
He's smart.
Yeah, he's really smart. That's my other Euro. He's just smart.
He is smart. And this is kind of a turning point in horror.
Mm.
Like, there's a lot of movies right after this that are sort of like this, and this is kind of like this is kind of like some Argento movies, and this is kind of like Black Christmas, kind of like other things,
Yes.
but it's like this movie that turns it into a thing, and then everybody does the same thing that it does, but more violent.
Yeah.
And which is good, but watching it, I have to say, it took me until later in life to really get into Halloween.
Mm.
And mostly because of the way it was sold to me.
Oh.
Because it's like, okay, this is a great horror movie, which it is.
Yeah.
It's a great horror movie, but it's like, it's pretty old-timey compared to almost everything after it. Like, it's not especially bloody or gory.
Not at
There's
all.
very little blood or gore. People get stabbed, but you don't really see much stabbing. And like, so I was kind of into like Evil Dead and shit that was just like, like people like ripping heads off and shit. And so like when I saw this, I was like, well, this is kind of tame.
Yeah, very.
But like, I think maybe reframing it in like, okay, this is a guy who likes old movies. This is a guy who likes Hitchcock. He likes Psycho, clearly. He likes stuff like that. And he's making a movie in 1978, but it's kind of like those movies more than it is like the movies that came after that are more stabby.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay,
Lots
other
more
good
stabs.
things. Should I talk about other good things?
Oh, go ahead.
Okay?
I think this is the last night of Carpentober. We really need to celebrate John.
John, if you're listening, and I bet you are, John Carpenter, thank you so much for most of your films.
Yes, most.
I should have said more positive that. Oh man, if he's listening, I really fucking blew it.
I like a couple of your little movies, okay?
Hey, thanks for your, I don't know, what do you call them? Skits. Thanks for all your skits. Your student, yes, thanks for your student films.
Yeah.
Okay, these are other things.
Oh, shit.
One, and this has long been one of my favorite things about Halloween. The opening titles are great, but I like how the letters are kind of reddish before it turns to orange, and then as it fades out, they turn back to reddish. I don't know why.
Shoot.
I guess it's like the process that they are made in, but I just like that they just turn a little bit red.
That's cool.
I don't know why.
That's great.
It's just kind of a pathetic thing to like, but I like it. And you can't stop me from liking it. Okay.
Great.
3 or 4 more other things I like, and then I'm done.
Okay.
Donald Pleasance, I think on the left side of his head, maybe the right, has a very distinct head vein.
Whoa.
Just like right on his temple, just a throbbing vein on his head that I think probably pigeonholed him because he was never playing like a sexy leading man. He was just always playing an evil person or an insane good person.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the crazy vein on his head, which is awesome.
That is pretty cool.
I have to say, is everything okay, Michael?
Yeah. I'm just checking my notes because I don't ever write down what my euros are. I'm just like, I'm just writing notes.
This is a thing?
Yeah.
This is the thing that happened? I have to... Okay. I don't have to say this, but I want to say this.
You should.
This is a lot funnier than I remembered, maybe?
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty funny movie.
It's got some great lines.
The back and forth between the young ladies is funny. They're like kind of mean to each other and kind of roasting each other, and that's pretty funny. There's a part when... wait, is it Annie? Yeah, Annie is on the phone. And for some reason, the dog is pissed off because Michael Myers is outside. That's why he's pissed off. And she's like, I'm about to be ripped apart by the family dog, which is funny. There also, and this is probably the funniest part of the whole movie, and it's like a really dark funny, is Laurie has been stabbed.
Yeah.
She's getting out of a house. And she's like screaming. She's terrified.
Yeah.
And she's selling it. Like,
yeah, for real.
Jamie Lee Curtis is like horrifying in this because she feels scared as fuck. And you go, oh my God, I'm scared too. And she goes to the neighbors and she's like, help! She's screaming like bloody murder, loud as she can. Help me! Oh my God, help me! Yeah. And they turn on the lights and she's like, please help! And they turn the lights back off.
Oh yeah, well they even open the blinds and they look at her and then they close.
Go, no. This is probably a prank, or an insane. I've heard that some people escaped from the local insane
True.
asylum. Maybe this is one of those insane people. Click. Good
Click.
luck.
Yeah.
I hope you're not being killed.
Hang up.
Click. What else? That's it.
Well,
those are all my nice things.
You brought up humor, and I agree. And I wrote down a couple parts. I like the mean friend Annie, because she's like, she gets on to Laurie about seeing Michael Myers behind a bush, and she's like, oh, whatever. And then later on, she calls and she hangs up because she just hears like breathing or something.
Yes.
And then Annie calls back. She's like, why'd you hang up?
Yeah.
She goes, I thought it was some bad guy or whatever. I thought it was some bad guy. Yeah, that's the line.
Yeah. I thought it was a bad
guy. And then her friend goes, now you hear obscene chewing?
Yes.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
And then another part I laughed at was when Michael Myers, he has killed the guy who the couple just had sex. He kills the one guy, and he goes back upstairs, and he's wearing like a bed sheet, like a ghost.
Yes,
but then he took the time to put on the guy's glasses, and it was just really funny to me.
It is good. They're outside like a person with glasses would never wear them on the outside.
Yeah.
It's just purely John was like, well, we need something to make this stupid ghost thing more interesting. Yeah. Okay, the guy wears glasses. Let's put them on the outside.
Why not?
Maybe, and also Michael is a pretty limited thinker. Let's say limited thinker.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just like glasses go on, must wear glasses. He wear glasses. I wear glasses.
Yeah. I am he now. That's great. Yeah, I thought that was. I love logistics, like actually thinking through stuff in horror movies. And there's a couple things in this that don't make too much sense.
No,
but it's just fun. I love applying like logic. Like, how the hell did he appear there?
Oh yeah.
How did he get in the house like instantly?
He's pretty magical.
Yeah.
I mean, there's definitely some sort of magical realism to him.
Oh yeah.
And there's also stuff like, okay, he carried like a 300-pound headstone.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really strong, but he carried it up some stairs without ever being noticed. Like, that kind of stuff is insane. But like, when you see it on the screen, you just go, holy fuck, this is creepy as fuck. I love this. I don't care how it got there. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty creepy that someone would take the time to do all of that elaborate.
Yeah.
Hang up a person so they swing out perfectly beside you.
That's one of the great jump scares of all time. It's complete nonsense.
Yeah.
It's total nonsense, but it's so good. Like, a few years ago, this was more than a few years ago, I saw this with an audience, and like that one, people die.
Yeah.
It's because it's so scary.
It's pretty good.
And it's also just so weird. Like, it's so surprising where he comes from that you just go, oh!
Yeah, you would.
And just everybody in the crowd was just like, ah! It just works so good.
It's incredible. And okay, my favorite is when Laurie finds all of them, and all that stuff happens, and then she goes and like she's just like overwhelmed, and she's like sitting against a wall like, oh,
yeah,
and then he like kind of fades in from behind. Like, that kind of stuff works so well with that mask and everything. It's brilliant. And
that one, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna reference the chat. We've got to reference the chat.
Okay.
Here.
Talk about him.
Well, Fast Break Breakfast said, I don't like it when people call him the Shape. It's Michael Myers. No one can take that from him, not even the Love Guru, which is so true, Guru. I have to say.
The Love Guru?
Mike Myers. It's a play on the name,
I don't get
it. But yeah, I played a game called Dead by Daylight, and they have Michael Myers in it, but his name's just the Shape. I don't know if that was for legal reasons, because
probably
I'd never heard of that before that game, so I don't know.
I think that's how he's tagged in the ending credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't realize. Not Michael Myers.
Okay, one more second about that moment you were talking about where he fades in.
Please.
That moment is really good because it is almost the exact opposite of a jump scare.
Yeah.
Like, it is like he slowly moves into the light, or maybe they fade up a light. I don't know quite how they make it happen. But if you're, especially the first time you're watching it, you only sort of notice it, and then at some point you go, "Holy shit!" It's like one of those things where you're like, you're jumped, but you don't even realize that you've been like scared.
Jumped. Yeah,
like you just sort of see, you go, "Whoa!" because you just see that it's there, because it just kind of slowly moves into the light, and you go, "Oh fuck!"
It's
That's
classic.
a really good one.
Yeah, I love that part. And then
We
she goes.
cannot only say nice things about this movie.
Oh shit.
Let's say some bad things about this movie.
Oh.
I've got a few. I really like this movie, so it's hard for me to say bad things. But
I've got two.
My main bad thing. I think Annie's death, where she gets kind of choked in the car, is not that great.
I agree.
It's a little silly.
Yeah.
She gets choked, and the way she dies, I don't know, it just seems a little fakey.
It's very bad.
And also, at some point, she does cross eyes.
Yeah,
and kinda,
it was really stupid.
And it seems a little like a parody of the movie itself.
Yeah.
I say that with all love in the world because I love this movie,
but
it's a little silly.
It's very silly. I mean, I like the bit leading up to it with like the doors locked. So she goes to get the keys, but then when she comes back, she just opens it.
Yeah.
And like then it dawns on her, and like all the windows are fogged up. I like that. But yeah, the death, that was one of my low mains too. I was like, that just looks really stupid.
Yeah. Also, I think maybe that they looped the same sound.
Oh yeah.
There's like a and then there's almost the exact same as they cut to a different shot. It's like, did they just put that twice? I don't know.
I did kind of feel that way about Laurie's little whimpers sometimes.
I think I let those go by because she's selling it she's a bit ridiculous. But I think if you're being chased by a huge man, you're probably gonna make some weird fucking noises. I bet you're probably gonna go. I mean, I would go.
Oh yeah, join us next week when we're both gonna be chased by a big man and see what sounds we make.
We're gonna be on our phones, Google meeting on our phones. Hashtag Google Meet. And we will be chased, and you'll hear what we actually sound like, and it'll be fun. We're gonna have a fun time.
And we're also having John Carpenter on, but that's secondary.
Yes, he's gonna be it's gonna be weird because he's gonna be sitting in a chair that's wrapped around a belt on my body. So the belt is on my body, and like John Carpenter's head's gonna be kind of bouncing into mine as we run away from the man. He's gonna be like, "Oh, this is pretty fucking weird."
Yeah, he's like telling stories about the production of Halloween as you're like,
well, we got a Panaglide to do this opening shot, so it's really smooth. This was before they had developed the. Yeah, that's basically that's the kind of stuff he's going to talk about.
That'll be
Michael.
Yes, sir.
What is your low man worst part of this movie?
Okay, I had
or
that
least favorite, even if there can even be a worse thing.
I had that same one, but since
and spades
already said it, you already said the one I picked, so I'm going to pick the other one. Is the weird? Okay, it's the friends who are trying to get it on, who both get killed. When they first get to the house, there's like this really not funny to me joke where the lady's like, well, what if Lindsay, the little girl she's watching, is there? And he goes, well, she can join too, or something like that. Okay, that's I don't know about that
weird.
one. That's a weird line.
Pretty weird.
I get, young kids, they like to make these types of jokes, but
I mean, back in '78, who knows?
Who knew?
They were wild back then.
But I don't know. That line it's not even a good, like, weird line. Like, I don't know. It just was a weird choice. It's like, just say
Michael,
something else.
I'll say as a counterpoint, I think that line's funny. I'm sorry. I think it's funny.
It is funny, but it's also borderline just like,
it's fucked up.
It
is fucked up. It's very, very fucked up.
I'd rather a different line, like, not about...
Hey, let's fucking jerk off together. Would that be good?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
But that's if I'm really digging, if I'm digging.
This is like a good bad one, Michael.
Okay.
At one point, and this is probably actually just a good one. Loomis is walking out of the hospital after Michael Myers has escaped. And he's talking to this guy. They're just basically like, oh, you should have kept him in there. And he's like, I told everybody.
Yeah.
What else can I do but tell every single person that he's a terrifying monster? I can do no more than say he is the most dangerous person alive. Is there anything? And so they're walking. And Loomis gets into his car, ready to drive to Haddonfield. And I noticed, probably, I think for the first time, that he's parked in a handicap spot. He's just sitting in a handicap spot.
Oh my God.
He pulls out and drives away. I love that part.
He's bad. He is bad.
Michael,
yeah,
I have to say this. I have like 2 or 3 more things that I like about this movie that I want to say
really?
real quick.
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I have to say them. One, there's many musical themes in this movie that I love.
Oh yeah,
I love the music in this movie.
It's great.
Probably even more notable because he like made it up in 3 days and he didn't really care about it.
That's crazy.
And just the kind of shit that Carpenter does, where he's just like, I don't know, we just fucking 3 days and we were done with it, and we just kind of made stuff that was scary. But there's many good bits, but there's one that is on the soundtrack called "The Shape Lurks."
Oh wow!
And it comes back a few times, but it's this kind of piano staccato thing. Where it goes, dun dun, dun dun, dun dun, and it kind of does that over and over, and then eventually there's a ting 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 ting.
Yeah.
And I love that theme. I especially love that ting ting. I don't know what drum machine that ting ting is, but I love that ting 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 ting. And this is another thing that is probably pure accident, but it almost sounds like it's just a touch like out of tune from the piano. So it's like a really like ting. It's a really grating ting. I love that ting.
Horror is where you go out of pitch. You grate the shit out of our ears.
Okay,
ding,
2 more things.
I love the music. There's one I can't remember. It's like the kind of like more drifty piano. Yeah. It's like kind of building up. It's not the main theme, but it's just kind of when they're showing like the streets and stuff. And then like I really like that music. It's really, really well done.
Yeah, it's kind of like a 4 version of the theme.
Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful.
It's beautiful. Michael, these are 2 other things that I like.
Okay.
1, the mask. The mask must be noted if we talk about Halloween.
You got to. For
many reasons. 1, it's scary as fuck.
Yeah.
It's just creepy to look at. The hair is black. The face is white. It's just... the cheeks are kind of weird looking. It's creepy. And also, like, the way the mask is cut, the way the eyes are cut, you can't really see his eyes, so there's something dark, and you can't really see it. It's good. Yeah, and also, weird. Especially in relation to some of the future masks, like, if you have seen Halloween 4, the mask in Halloween 4 is laughable.
It's hilarious.
It's silly. And Halloween 4 is not that... I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah. It's got some good parts, but the mask...
It's so bad.
Sucks.
So bad.
And also, it's just like one of the main things that is scary.
Yeah.
So, like, if you fuck up one of the main creepy things about the main scary man, it's just like, it's not that great.
Yeah.
Okay. One more. This is my final thought for Halloween. If you have more final thoughts, please. But this is my final thought. There is a video that if you don't follow at Food Court Cast, please follow us on Twitter.
Please.
I'll probably post it on other things, but mainly post it on Twitter. There is a video that has a recording of an audience reaction from 1979. And it's like the last 2 or 3 minutes. It's the part where Laurie has stabbed Michael in the eye, and she stabbed him in the chest, and he is dead. He is quote unquote dead on the floor.
Yes.
And she like gets out of the closet, and she's kind of leaning against the door jamb, and she's like, well, that dead guy is dead, so I can just take a little rest. I've had a pretty rough night. I deserve to sit. And it's the moment where another great thing that we didn't even mention, so many great things. Michael leans up. He just kind of a little bit out of focus. He leans up, he gets up, and he starts to walk towards us, and it's fucking scary.
It's great.
And the video, which I will post a link to,
please,
has the 1979 audience. So you just hear them fucking screaming. They're just like, You just hear like hundreds of people being fucking insanely scared, and it's just so delightful. Because I mean, as I said, I've seen this in the theater, and it is just a good horror movie with a good crowd. It's just so much fun. Just everybody's like, just a communal experience with a bunch of motherfuckers you don't even know.
It's great. It's like the only time that I am not bothered by someone like saying something, like if they're like scared, like normally I hate when people talk in a movie. It's like just shut up. But a movie,
that's Wolverine.
Yeah, that's Wolverine.
That's him. The guy with the claws.
I do have sideburns. Well, okay, so a couple things. I love the one thing I did like about the Rob Zombie Halloween. I did go see that in a packed theater, and there were a lot of people were just like, "Oh, don't go in there!" Like they were all just like amped up, excited. So I was like, that was nice. Yes. I don't like it's just like over gritty. Make everything over gritty is really boring.
Yes,
but
it is boring.
It's just like, all right. But there I have an experience that I would like to share. It's not Halloween related, but it is a horror movie.
Okay, and share.
It was
share with us.
The Conjuring 2. Ooh, ghosts. Ooh. And there was a lady behind me with her husband.
Yes.
And literally the whole movie, she's just like, "Why are they doing that? What's going on?" Like that level of I was like, "What is happening?" Like, and he kept going like, "Shh, shh, shh." And she'd go, "What?" I was like, "Are you insane?"
Oh boy.
It was wild.
Unaware of the basic conventions of civility.
Nothing. I'd never wished Michael Myers would have shown up more. I tell you.
What if that bitch was like, "Why are they doing this?" And then she sees like the hand clap next to her head, and then the candle gets blown out, and then she's gone.
She's gone. She's like the candle. She's gone.
She's like a candle in the wind.
Yeah.
It's strange. I mean, okay. It's strange to go into a movie wanting to know what's happening. I mean, part of the joy of seeing a movie for this first time for me is like, well, I'm going to let them do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens in this movie.
Exactly.
Not like, hey, can we figure this out together as it's happening?
Yeah.
Please. I would like to solve this movie so that I can feel some sort of superiority to this movie. Do you have any final thoughts before we get into Halloween Part 2?
I loved it.
I love it.
It is. I mean, okay. I always have thought it's not a particularly like terrifying movie. I think at the time it came out, like you were saying with that video, it was probably like really scary.
Yeah.
But it's just so enjoyable, and it has like I don't know. It's just really well done still, especially compared to a little sequel.
Are you talking about perhaps Halloween 2?
Yes, not directed by John Carpenter.
No, directed by Rob Rosenthal? Is that his name?
I don't know.
Is that his name? Let me see. Rick Rosenthal. I am sorry. Rick, if you're listening, I'm sorry that I called you Rob. I don't know why you and John Carpenter would both be listening.
Yeah,
it'd be so odd for both of the directors of these movies to be listening.
That would be really weird.
Despite that, I want to say sorry, Rick,
for
saying bad things. And you know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the plot on this one.
Please,
let me handle it. Halloween 2. It starts basically as the first movie ends. It actually starts like a minute and a half before the first movie ends.
Yeah.
We just get a touch of the first movie. Michael Myers has disappeared, and they're taking Laura to the hospital. And you know what happens? Michael Myers goes to the hospital, and spoiler alert, he kills every motherfucker in that hospital. And just because he wants to kill Laurie, once again, spoiler alert, because she's his brother.
She's his brother.
She is his sister. Sorry,
his little sister.
Say that right? Yes.
Yeah.
She is his little sister.
His little baby
and he
sister.
He loves to kill sisters. Is the thing, I guess. It's a very weird point. I don't know why it exists. I think John Carpenter has often said that he wasn't exactly sure why he did it either. He just wanted a twist or something.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's a
But
twist.
I think early on, I will say, I probably like this movie a lot more than you do, just from the way you framed it. I like this movie, not a ton, but I like it a lot.
Yeah. It's not awful.
No, it's definitely not awful.
There's just, it's hard, compared to the first, it's hard, and
Yes.
it does some things that I really was just like, no.
We will talk about those.
Yes, later.
First, though, I want to say, just to get you into the mindset of this movie.
Yes.
This is a post Friday the 13th movie.
Oh, yeah.
It must be noted that it's definitely a post Friday the 13th movie. And one of the main ways it differs from the first one is that the violence is more violent.
Yeah.
The people are getting fucking killed.
Yeah.
Like, really fucked up bad.
Really? Yeah.
They are getting brutally murdered. Stuff is being stuck into them. It's a lot more gross. It's a lot... I mean, there's just more brutal murders.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's way more brutal.
Yeah. And for better and worse.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's some parts that are better, there's some parts that are worse. The actual watching people get killed is kind of fun.
Classic.
Like, if you're in that Friday the 13th mindset where you're like, yeah, kill those fuckers. This is a pretty good movie for watching some people get killed.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Euros. I have many Euros for this movie, as always. And plenty of bad things also. But first of all, I want to say my main Euro, my most favorite part of this movie is, and I think it's probably obvious for both of us, it may be yours as well.
I don't know.
Early on, as they arrive at the hospital, there is a little boy with his mother, and they cut to a horrifying close-up. He is holding a towel to his mouth, and they cut to a horrifying close-up where he clearly has eaten some tainted candy.
Yes.
And there is a razor blade sticking out of his mouth.
So fucked.
It's fucked up.
It's more gory than the entire first Halloween movie.
Yes. Just that weird, almost silly cutaway to his... I mean, within the movie it's gross, but it's also funny because it's like a gross punchline to a joke that was told in myth, basically. The setup is like, did you know that people put razor blades in candy? And your mind goes... What? And even if they did, how? How would the razor? So I'm eating a really tall piece of candy that has a razor blade in it somehow.
Yes.
And then that cuts me, because otherwise you just bite into it and it hurts your teeth, and you go, "What the fuck is this?" And then you look at it and you go, "Oh, it's a razor blade. Why would someone do that? That's really incredibly rude." But somehow this little kid has bitten into the razor blade so hard that it is wedged into his mouth. It's fucked. It's really totally fucked.
I like that the first thought would be, wow, that is incredibly rude. Bite down.
This young rude. Whoever did this, they are on my naughty list. They're getting coal this Christmas.
All coal.
On this Black Christmas. I have more favorite things to talk about, but I want you to tell you your favorite.
Oh yeah, we can go back and forth, even though I didn't write down.
You didn't have that many.
More than one, but I'll think of more than one. My favorite part of this whole movie is actually that it starts like literally, or like right after the first one ends. Like I think that's so cool. I haven't seen that like I don't know if I've ever seen that before, and I was like that just makes me feel good. I'm like, oh, whoa, here we go.
They're like, hey, here's a sequel, and the sequel happens instantly.
Right now. I think it's
not
great.
7 years later, what has happened in their lives? How have they learned from their trauma?
No.
They haven't even had a chance to stop having the things happen.
They're still
the same
in the
TV
trauma.
show is still happening. It's still, like, luckily, this is must be by pure accident, but luckily the first one, Halloween night, begins early. Like, there's kids trick-or-treating before the sun has gone down. So like Halloween has begun pretty early.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time we get to Halloween 2, it's still Halloween.
It's still Halloween.
People are still celebrating.
I love it. I thought that was a great choice. I was like, oh yeah, it's called Halloween. This is Halloween as well. Halloween 2.
Look who's Halloween 2.
Halloween as well.
Halloween also.
Yeah, also. What else happened? I love that. I think the first time I ever saw it, I was like, what? Whoa. Like, it like made me so happy. I was like, oh, cool.
What? Yeah, and there's like instant weird callbacks. Like Loomis goes down and he like touches the grass.
Yeah.
He's like, it's honestly probably the kind of thing that I would do.
Yeah, true.
If someone disappeared, I would go like,
what happened?
Did he go underground? Yeah. Like, where the fuck could he pop? I shot him 6 times.
Did he melt?
Where could he be? Yeah. Is he inside the grass? And you go, let me touch some grass. Nope.
What if he
walked down the street?
What if he was in
That
the
would
grass?
be really spooky.
Yeah.
He's like a mole creature, and he's underground. I like that.
That would be good.
Let's remake Halloween 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the Halloween 2018 was essentially what would happen in Halloween 2 if there was no Halloween 2. And we will do Halloween 2. What would happen if neither Halloween 2 nor Halloween 2018 happened?
Yes.
What if instead Michael Myers was a mole man?
Oh, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Michael Myers.
He's sort of like Incredibles
mole
2.
Man. Yeah, yeah, he's
the Underminer. Michael Myers is the Underminer from Incredibles 1.
The Underminer.
Oh shit! It is meant to be. Okay, these are other things I liked about this movie. Yes, I liked quite a few things. I want to talk about a few of them. 1, glory, and this is one of not a lot of the things that are supposed to be kind of tense work in this movie.
Yeah,
some of them are okay, but some of them are not. But this is one of the ones that works. When Laurie first gets to the hospital, they're like trying to shoot her up with some stuff, and she's like, "Don't put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Don't put me to sleep." And that bit is really solid.
It's great
because you're like, man, I just almost got killed
by the boogeyman.
By a boogeyman who disappeared. Yeah. I looked out the window. He wasn't fucking there. He was
gone.
I don't want to go to sleep yet. I want to be able to run if I have to. My foot's hurt, but I want the chance to escape once again. And I like that law. Don't put me to sleep. She says it a few times, and it's like, yeah, this is just right.
If a clinical psychologist confirms that it is in fact the boogeyman, I'm gonna be pretty freaked out.
Yes.
I'm gonna be
this is a doctor who works with mentally deranged people, and he has decided that in fact this is a supernatural presence that cannot be killed
and wants to kill me.
Can I get some uppers, please?
Yes.
You guys have maybe some Mountain Dew,
Halloween candy, something.
Yes.
Dude, just
do you have a Jolt Cola in 1978? Because I need some energy to get through the night. At least I want to hear that maybe he's in town over killing people.
Something
for safety. Okay.
Back
ahead.
to the chat. Our dear Kill Donkey friend Chad Ryden said it was weird that he put his hands in the blood and then looked at his hands, and then the lady in her kitchen did the same thing. And then in all caps, "Why are you putting your hands in blood?"
Why are you putting your hands in blood? Well, in defense of the lady, Michael who the fuck knows what Michael's up to? But the lady is like kind of reaching out, and I think she doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah,
I mean, that's still a stupid thing to do, and only a thing that people do in horror movies where they just go, "What is this? Let me touch it."
Yeah.
And like, if you see red in a real life, you go, "Oh fuck,
that's blood,"
and probably leave.
Yeah.
I mean, you probably leave the house. You go, I don't want to be around this much blood.
Yeah, I would too. Speaking.
Also, go ahead.
I was just on the note of you like people touching things.
Yes.
Alien. I would never touch some kind of weird clear. I would never just put my hand in. What the hell? What is this?
What is this? Yeah. It tastes like a space goo.
Space goo.
There's something. Let me just get some of it and inject it into my arm. What is this? Gluck? It feels weird. It does feel like space goo. Oh God, it's in my chest. Michael,
Anyway,
is it okay to say more positive things? I
please.
know you want to get into the down and dirty
No.
of shitting on this movie,
Keep
but
it.
I have a
Keep
few
it
more
going.
things that must be said.
I do too, honestly.
Oh, okay. One, there's a guy in a Michael Myers mask or whatever. For some reason, that's a mask just in the town of Haddonfield.
Yeah.
And he gets hit by a car and burned alive,
Yeah.
which is great. But also later, which this is the first time I've ever noticed this, the guy who was killed
Yes.
is Ben Tramer.
Yes.
Who is the guy that Lori has a crush on.
It's so tragic.
Which is really tragic.
So fucked.
Just horribly tragic. And he wanted to go to the dance with her.
Crazy.
It would have been so nice.
I know. I was like, dang.
It's really fucked up. I mean, really cruel of Carpenter. There are many cruel things in this movie where like people are just like viciously tortured to death.
Yeah.
Or just stabbed in eyeballs or different parts where you don't want to be stabbed. But like killing off Ben Tramer is cruel.
Yeah, it's like, why? Why'd you even have to bring him into this?
It's mean.
Yeah.
And also knowing like, okay, this person earlier who's just a faceless person who got hit by a car and burned alive, you're like, okay, well, I don't know this person, so I guess I can let that fly. But then when they like flip the switch and go, oh, this is a guy that Lori really likes.
Yeah, by the way.
You go, fuck. What
I know,
the hell,
like,
Carpenter?
Dang. Yeah, I that was almost funny. It was just like,
Yeah.
whoa, jeez.
It's really fucked.
Great.
Yeah. Do you have other things you love about this movie, Michael?
Yes.
Or should I go down deep?
No.
I got like 4 more.
This one. No,
Yes.
one of the kill donkeys said, I liked how there was a hot tub with a scalding setting.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
You just turn it up to scalding just in case you need to scald something.
Yeah.
Maybe. Okay. Which kill donkey was that? Because I want to take them to task.
That was Joey-O 503.
Joey-O, you know what they did? This is actually what it is. Maybe they want to boil some rice. So they have the scalding setting just in case the burner in the kitchen goes down.
Yes.
That way they can turn it up to boiling, put in a huge, like a 50-pound bag of rice
Right.
and cook it up and have a nice, healthy dinner.
Yes. Get the soy
JK.
sauce, baby, because I'm
me
getting
some
down.
soy sauce. I'm getting down.
Well, that was a very good answer. I was going to say bad plot device.
Yeah.
That's
basically what it is, yeah.
Next is my Euro 2. I have a second Euro. Can you even
You have a
believe
double
this?
Euro?
What the fuck?
Man, 2 euros. That's good.
It's one of the deaths, and they kind of do a similar like scene in the newer Halloween, the 2018 one, where the security guard's like looking around, and there's a lot of false scares with him.
Yes.
I thought the cat one at the dumpster was really stupid.
The cat one is insane because it's like a cat scare, which is generic.
Yeah. Very.
But it's such an intense cat scare that he like flies backwards over garbage cans. He flies like
It's
3 feet back.
insane.
This is a heavy or just powerful cat.
Yeah.
Because the cat hits him and he just flies back. It's great.
But he like finally gets killed. He like is looking through all this stuff falls on him, whatever. He closes this door after he's like, okay, nothing's here. And then Michael Myers is just like right there. And it's just like the quickest, like he lifts up a hammer and it's just like boom. Just dead. I was like, holy crap.
Just claw hammer right in the top
It's
of his
great.
skull.
It's
it
great.
passes through the skull easily.
Boom.
It just goes thump.
I was like,
and then they cut away. You're like, oh,
I think
boy.
deaths like that are almost more effective sometimes because they're just like so brutal, but like so quick. We're just like, whoa.
You're like, oh my God, that guy got a claw hammer in the head.
He did. So I like
Farewell,
that part.
my friend.
Yeah, bye.
While we're talking about murders, I'll talk about 2 other murders that I love. I know it is completely stupid, but I love the boiled head. I love that it is Michael Myers sets this therapeutic hot tub to scalding, and he just takes this beautiful, nice woman who's having a rough night, and he puts her face into this boiling water until her skin begins to tear off.
And she did.
And her face begins to melt. and she just dies of head melt.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she drowns / burns to death.
Well, I mean, I say there's a good chance she's still alive. Maybe she just passed out.
She made it. I mean, pretty much everybody else in this movie, like Loomis and Michael Myers, are both in Halloween 4.
Oh yeah.
So if Loomis can survive an explosion that is an entire room full of different gases, then she might be okay.
I forgot they did that.
Yeah,
so
he's just alive for so many more movies.
So insane.
It's great. Okay, another great murder, and this is just a discovery of a dead person, not necessarily a murder.
Yeah.
But this I don't know what she is. She's like a female orderly or something. She's just some lady who's helping out, and she's trying to find the doctor because everything is fucked and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And she goes to the doctor's private office and taps his shoulder. He's just sitting in a chair. He turns around. I mean, I don't know what happens.
Magic.
Somehow his dead body turns around in the chair and he has a syringe into his eye and it's just sticking there. And it's like, oh boy, that's rough.
That's rough.
And syringe in the eye is very rough.
It is.
I also wrote down the note, Jason goes to the hospital. That's essentially what this movie is. It's like
very much.
It's kind of a Jason movie, but with Michael Myers in it, and he's killing people in different ways.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's a great way to put it. It feels very. I would not be. I would almost notice no difference if you just like composited Jason on top of Michael. I just like, oh yeah, this fits.
Yeah, and it even has like a family member twist, which is what happens in Friday 13th.
Oh yeah, true. Well, it's weird. Like, it's weird because I don't know. I noticed like it doesn't feel very Halloween-y without like the knife for some reason is so iconic to me.
Yes.
Even though he doesn't even use it that much in the first movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
But like the scalpel like didn't really do it for me. It didn't feel scary. I don't know.
Yeah.
So there's stuff that it felt a little more just like generic killer. There's just some killer.
Yes. While you're talking about that, may I get balls deep into my low man least favorite part of this movie?
This
is like 2-part.
Get low.
Kind of 5-part actually. And it's on the same theme that you were speaking of. So Scalpel 1. Also, there's a woman who gets like bled. There's the head nurse.
Oh yeah.
And she gets bled out with an IV.
So
which is gross and kind of an interesting image and would work if it wasn't Michael Myers.
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
It's like a lot of the things, like the syringe to the eye, that's not how Michael Myers would kill someone.
Yeah, probably not.
The scalpel is like, Michael Myers doesn't like a scalpel.
Yeah, no.
He'd find a big saw or something. Like the claw hammer is like, yes.
It fits.
It's kind of brutal. It takes power.
Yeah.
It's like, Urgh. But a lot of the murder weapons are not like, Urgh.
Yeah.
Like a scalpel is more like it's like some kind of mad doctor or someone who's like clever and they're using their mind power to get you. But there's something brutal about Michael Myers. So like when he like crushes you or he chokes you to death with his bare hands or he stabs you with a big knife or he beats you to death. So he does something like that. And so like the scalpel is weird.
Yeah, very.
It I will talk about this in a moment, but it figures into good parts. But the scalpel itself, it just doesn't feel right for Michael Myers.
It's too little. Like, it's just kind of goofy because it's like this little...
And he's huge.
Yeah, he's this huge guy with
he's
this,
a big-ass guy.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
It's really stupid.
Yes. Like, well, I'm going to cut you up many times with this.
Yeah.
I mean, he could easily kill people with it. And some of the, like, when he cuts the sheriff's throat, you're like, oh,
yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Stuff like that works, but it just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Michael, what is your low man of this Halloween 2?
Well, I will piggyback off of that because like
get on my back.
Well, okay, the movie starts and I'm like all in. I'm like excited. Like him like wandering around the houses. That like first kill where he like kills that one lady. Like that was like I was like okay, this is already like okay, this is awesome. I think where they went wrong is the hospital. I think it just ruins the whole movie. Because it's just boring at that. You're just in this one thing. I don't ever like when horror movies do that. Oh, now we're just in this one place now. It's just like no, keep it exciting. Like the neighborhood is such a good device, and it felt so
Yes.
right in the first one. And I don't know. I guess I get like wanting to do something different, but it just kind of I don't know. And a hospital, it just isn't scary to me. Like a perfectly lit hospital, which later on, for some reason, there's just like no lights on
Yes.
at all. And
Michael has turned off the
yeah,
lights.
he turned them off. But I was just like, this, you would notice Michael Myers walking around a hospital. Like, it just doesn't work for me. So that is maybe just a overarching. But on the subject of the scalpel, there is a scene where he is chasing Lori, and she gets in an elevator. Finally, it finally opens. The door is like slowly closing, and his hand gets stuck in the door. Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure elevators just open if that happens. But
I think maybe this is a pre-safety measure.
Oh, wow.
Elevator.
Yeah.
Where it just goes, up, you're closed. Sorry.
But it lingers a little too long, and it just looks really stupid. Like he's just like, oh, my hand's stuck. I've got a scalpel. And it just doesn't work. I was like,
the lead up to that though is quite good.
Yeah, it's a good lead.
Stepping on glass.
Yeah.
The way the lights are cool. It's just creepy, but like that little bit. Not quite right.
I did make a big note where I was like, just kind of like the first one. It really only gets like super exciting once it's just him and Lori. Like in this movie, I was like, okay, now I'm like excited. He's just like chasing, and she's like drugged, so it's kind of more interesting. Like you're like, oh shit, how's she gonna get out of here?
Yes, so I think both movies are lots of setup.
Yeah.
For like 20 or 30 minutes of like, here we go, here we fucking go. Like everything is happening. Holy shit, lots of shit is happening. This is really like ramped up to a million. SPS. FPS. Yes. Okay, a few more things I liked before we talk about things that we don't like. Wait, did we talk about any other things?
We're in the don't like section.
We're in the don't like. Okay, what don't you like?
Well, I did the elevator scene's really bad.
Is that it?
Okay, no, the thing I hate the most. Are you ready for this?
Oh yes, you hate the theme, right?
Yeah, the music. I don't find it scary at all. I think they ruined it. Like it's so
none of it at all.
None of it. It was so perfect in the first one, and then they were just like, let's add like 1,000,000 synths on top of it, and it'll sound like a a carnival. Like I was like, this sounds horrible. I don't know. It just didn't work for me. It's like,
I don't like the music as much as the music in the first one.
Yeah.
I think like the piano with synth combo pack is like a good feel.
Yeah.
And is not quite as good in the second one.
Yeah, it's just weird. I don't know.
But I don't hate it.
Oh, I hate it.
But I don't like it as much. But I want to support your opinion, Michael.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
it. Just because I don't hate it doesn't mean that you can not hate it.
Yeah.
So you're allowed to hate it.
We're allowed to think different things.
Wow. The liberal media would have us think all the same things, like, oh, what if people didn't starve to death? Well, you can think people should starve to death, and I can think people should just eat because there's plenty of money. There's no reason for anyone to starve.
And Michael Myers apparently thinks if you're hungry, eat a dog.
Just eat a dog.
I always forget about that when I'm watching the first one. I'm like, oh my, he ate a dog.
He just gets hungry sometimes. Yeah. Michael's crazy. He just likes to eat.
He's crazy.
Dogs.
Oh, also a crazy thing I never realized in the second one, Dr. Loomis is like, oh yeah, he's 21. I was like, what? He's only 20. That's just crazy.
It's weird that he's 21.
Yeah, it's really strange.
I mean, it's fine that he's 21, but it's weird.
It is very weird.
Okay. As I like this movie more than you did, I have a few more nice things to say.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Michael, you're going to love these. These are things that you will love too. And you're going to be so mad that I brought them up. Okay, here are the things that I like. Okay. Loomis threatens cops. He's like in a car with like a marshal or something.
Yeah.
And he just puts a gun to the cop's head. He's like, take me back. So they just go to the hospital because he's threatening to kill this cop.
I love it. Oh, and I love that he goes, and you always shoot a warning shot, right? And then he like shoots the window out. I was like, shit.
So good. So good. Michael has been. Michael is really trying to kill Lori. He wants so bad to kill his sister. We don't know why, but they're brother and sister. Who knows why?
Yeah.
And
Sam Hain.
Michael gets shot in the eyeballs.
Yes.
Blood comes out of his eyes.
I like
Great.
that shot.
I love that part. Also, he still has the scalpel, dumb weapon, but he is blind and swinging. And they're stuck in the room with Michael, and he's swinging. And it's it makes me unnerved. I don't know if you love this, but I think like, oh shit, there's no way out of this room. And he's just swinging, and you're like, oh fuck.
Okay.
I gotta be really quiet.
In real life, if this was happening to me, terrified. I'd be like so freaked out.
Yeah.
But much like in the first one where there's like the looping sound effect, the swiping got so repetitive to me. It turned to goofiness. I was like, all right. It just went on a little too long.
That's fair. He does a lot of swiping.
Like, okay, y'all.
Okay, 2 more things. These are my 2 final favorite things that I like about this movie. 1, Lori has survived. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And she is walked into the ambulance. They're trying to ask her questions. She's like, I'm not ready to answer any questions about this evening, frankly. I've had like 2 movies worth of a bad evening in one night. And they get her in the ambulance, and they drive the ambulance away. And it's, for some reason, just pure luck of making a movie at the right time. Misty. It's really misty and beautiful. And also there's like something elegiac about the way it looks. It just kind of feels kind of sad. And I like that a lot.
I like that too.
And it goes right into one of my other most favorite parts. The Mr. Sandman bookends. I really like the Mr. Sandman. And I don't know how it relates, really. Because it's not about dreams or it's not about sleep. Really.
Boogeyman, though, kind of has a vibe.
Yes. It just feels right.
Yeah, it works.
Like when it plays at the beginning, like they play the backstory stuff, and then the movie proper begins with Mr. Sandman, and you go, huh, that just feels kind of right. I don't know what it is about Mr. Sandman. It's just, it probably didn't come out in 1963. I don't even know when it came out.
Old...
But it's just, I like it. And also, when it comes back, it is already ironic at the beginning, because they're like, oh, this is a murder movie. But when it comes back, Lori is clearly destroyed. Like, she's kind of staring off into nothingness, a near dead look on her face, just kind of, she's had a horrible night. She feels terrible. She barely wants to move her face. She's had such a bad night. And then when it comes back, you go, okay, I like it. I like it.
I kind of like her, like just completely destroyed, and then she remembers him like burning. That is a nice cut. There are really good elements. Throughout.
Michael.
Yes.
You reminded me of one other thing I liked. I'm sorry to talk about so many things I liked about this movie. Michael gets blown the fuck up, and then he walks out of the fire. The shot of him walking out of the fire is like, holy shit. Like, I mean, one, because he is literally a man who's walking out of a huge fire. And when you see shit like that, there is something about the reality of the situation. Especially when it is presented so well, where you just go, holy shit. That's a guy who's all the way on fire.
And he doesn't
His entire body is on fire. And they got a camera. And they took moving pictures of this man who was burning. He was alive, but he was burning. And just shit like that. Like, anytime someone's on fire in a movie, I'm like, holy shit, this is awesome.
It is.
And in this, he takes a long-ass walk, too. Ooh, baby.
I would not have wanted to do that. That would have been very painful. Even if you're in a hot suit, whatever they call those.
They put him, I think it's called a warm suit.
Warm suit.
I don't know. Does anybody know what it's called? I don't know.
It was
Go
cool.
ahead.
It was a cool moment, but it also was
Oh
very
no.
much like in the Friday the 13th realm for me. I was like,
Yes.
okay, this is just too much.
Yes.
But
It
I
is a
get it.
lot.
It's kind of neat. It's like he's so evil. He just doesn't even care that he's burning to death.
It doesn't even affect
Yeah,
him
he's like,
until the very point of death. But as we learn in Halloween
he
4,
ain't dead,
he didn't even die.
which is
He
crazy.
just laid on the floor burning until he burned
Yeah.
out, and then
He came back. He's like a phoenix. He burst
finger started
back.
to twitch, and he's back.
Yeah, he back.
That's all it took.
That's all.
Do you have any other things that you want to say about these wonderful films / wonderful films / pretty good films?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it's not bad by any means. It's just it's comparatively not as good, but
Yes.
I do like watching them back to back. I think that's the best. It's like a fun experience. And if it wasn't COVID, it would be nice to do like a group watch both. I could see that. And it's not it's not awful. It's got some good bits in there.
I like to.
Yeah.
It suffers from a lack of elegance
Yeah.
in almost every way. The first one is like so. It just feels so right. Like every moment just feels great, and you're just like, this is exactly how a movie should be.
Yeah.
This is what movies are. You just watch a movie and you go, oh yeah, this is exactly what a movie is. And there's something. I mean, in many different ways, the second one is just more brutal.
Yeah.
Like the cutting feels a little more brutal. Just the way things are put together is a little more brutal. Even the sounds, all of that stuff is more brutal.
Yeah, the music
more harsh.
is so brutal.
Yeah, exactly. It is more harsh.
Yeah.
And less elegant. But it's still a fun time.
It's a fun time. I will say there were a couple parts where it felt like they were just like I mean, I guess if John Carpenter wrote it, it's his fault.
Yeah.
But where they just
it is his fault.
It's like they just did the exact same thing. Like there's a part in the second one where someone bumps into Michael Myers and they use like that and they kind of do that in the first one when that little kid bully runs into I don't know. It felt like they were like, well, let's just do it again.
I mean, I think honestly Carpenter talks about having a six-pack on a few straight nights and writing it.
That's crazy.
So he has almost no love for this movie. The tiniest bit of love, probably none at all.
That's great.
He says he thinks it's bad.
Yeah.
And apparently he recut some of it and reshot some things and added some more kills or something because he saw it and he went, this sucks.
Whoa.
I'm gonna fix this movie in some way.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
And so Carpenter probably put even less thought into it than we have talking about it.
Yeah.
Probably a little more time, but potentially less thought.
Yeah, I bet he added in him sneaking around the houses and him killing that one lady because that part was good.
You might be right.
Then the hospital stuff was just already shot. What are we going to do?
Just leave it.
It's not that bad. I'll give it a break. It's fun.
It's fun.
But
we had fun.
I find it weird that the newer one erased this one too. Because it kind of, I mean, they took out that she's his sister from the new one. But they kind of do this, they burn him alive, or supposedly, in the...
Yeah.
It just was, it's kind of weird.
The 2018 one is almost a remake of Halloween 2, except without the sister. It has a lot of similar beats.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah, he's back. Just later.
The long opening thing where he's wandering around in and out of different houses is pretty similar to him wandering around the houses in the beginning of Halloween 2.
That's very true.
I mean, hey, David Gordon Green, if you're listening, eat shit.
Yeah.
Rick Rosenthal, if you're listening, thank you for doing a good movie. We like it.
It's pretty fun.
Michael doesn't love it. John Carpenter. It is the end of Carpentober.
Oh my gosh, it is.
It is officially the end. We will never ever watch a John Carpenter movie ever again.
There's one I never
maybe
will.
Next October. Which one are you never gonna watch again?
Well, Fast Break Breakfast said it's no vampires, and he's They're right. It is no vampires. It's much better than vampires.
It's so much better than vampires.
But yeah, I'll never watch that again. But this was such a great experience, and it was very spooky and very fun.
It was spooky and fun. If you had fun, and honestly, there's no way that you did not have fun, dear listener / watcher. Would you subscribe on your favorite app, whatever app you're on right now? Subscribe.
Please.
And if there is an option for many stars, give us the most stars. And write us a little review. As I said earlier, 10 hours ago, we love reviews. And NPR tells us that they do something. So please write us a long review just describing many different things. The way we look, how much you love the way we look, the way that you never get to see the bottom half of our body, and how you like that because you're afraid that we have disgusting bottom halves.
Tentacles.
We are Tentacle Boys. 2 Tentacle Boys. On behalf of the lovely Michael Hampton, and on behalf of myself, can you say something on behalf of yourself?
Oh, yeah.
I will, actually, in this moment.
You must.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. Happy Halloween.